Welcome to Life Innovations, a program devoted to a discussion of topics of varied interests, a little off-center from the mainstream. Previous programs have featured various topics on alternative medicine, metaphysics, and other like subjects. I am Judy Fishman, a master Reiki and intuitional healer, an ordained minister with the Temple of Universality in Tucson, Arizona, previously with the Spiritual Science Center of New Jersey. Today's topic is ballet, and my guest is Cecily Winslow Bressel. Cecily made her professional debut at age 12 in a lead child role in the Boston Ballet's acclaimed Nutcracker, Arthur Fiedler conducting, and ballerina Maria Tolchief cast as the Sugar Plum Fairy. She performed as a company member for the next several years with the Boston Ballet Company. She later danced in Europe with the Deutsche Oper Berlin at the invitation of John Tarras. As a teenager, she was the recipient of a highly competitive Ford Foundation scholarship to continue her dance education. She's taught for over 27 years, placing students in dance programs in top colleges, as well as the School of American Ballet, the Joffrey, Steps, and other intensive summer programs. Cecily holds a bachelor's degree in human services and a master's degree in counseling psychology from Lesley University in Cambridge, Massachusetts. She's lived in Tucson for 8 years and founded the Arizona Ballet Theater, which was formerly Cecily's Dance Tech, in January of 2003. I am delighted to welcome Cecily to Life Innovations. Welcome, Cecily.
Thank you, Judy. It's a pleasure to be here.
I know you want to talk about your studio, but first I want to know about your dance career. What was it like to dance professionally?
It was wonderful to dance professionally. Of course, it was hard work, really hard work. I think that a good dancer makes it look easy, and people don't actually realize how hard it is. But it was very exciting. And I was dancing professionally at a time when the whole world was riding a dance boom, kind of generated by Rudolf Nureyev. So I was able to meet the top dance stars, to work with them, to work with the best choreographers, to do the most exciting ballets. I mean, really, when you look back on it, it was almost a fairy tale.
Yeah, I think that was every little girl's dream. So would you like to discuss any of the famous dancers that you worked with? Were they down-to-earth people, or were they totally focused on their dance? Were they nice? Were they what were they like?
Well,
you could pick one or two. And if you don't want to say nasty things, just tell me about the nice ones.
Most dancers really are nice. They're very focused on their art. The dancer that I really like to talk about a lot lately is a dancer named Robert Blankshine, who was a superstar of the Joffrey when they made their big splash in the 60s. And he was my dearest friend in ballet when I worked in Berlin, and he was actually the reason that I asked John Tarras for a job in Berlin, because I wanted to work with Robert Blankshine, who was just sensational.
So he was very special.
Well, I had never seen anyone move like him. He actually opened the doors for all the male dancers that are receiving such acclaim nowadays. Right now it's kind of an era of the male dancer, but back in the early 60s, male dancers didn't lift their legs as high, they didn't do a lot of razzle-dazzle, and Bobby was the first. He had better extension than any of the girls, he turned more than any of the girls, he moved faster, he was quicker, his back bend was deeper. He was just absolutely just astonishing.
Good. And how about people like Maria Tolchief and women stars like that? What were they like?
Well, Maria Tolchief I worked with when I was only 12 years old. So she guest starred, and to me she was just this beautiful ballerina, and I didn't really have an opportunity to talk to her.
Okay.
But later on I was able to work with many of the top stars. And for example, Margot Fonteyn was one of the loveliest people I've ever met. And in fact, when she came to guest star with us in Boston, she left her dressing room door open so we could talk to her if we wanted.
Oh,
she was very accessible. And
that's really great. What was the best compliment you ever received?
Well, that's a great question. I think that the best compliment I ever received was when I was about 16 years old. I had been dancing with the Boston Ballet Company for 4 years, and we had a very talented company. After one of the performances, when we were appearing at the parties with the patrons, and, you know, we got to drink champagne and do all kinds of stuff that we probably shouldn't have been doing. But one of the patrons came to me and said, I just want you to know that you're my favorite dancer in the company. And I was so surprised. And I said, oh, I'm sure you probably meet Geraldine, another redhead in the company. She said, oh, no, I mean you. I always look for you. You're the one that I love to see, and I just wanted you to know that.
That's a wonderful compliment. What's your favorite ballet?
Oh, that's a tricky one. I think my favorite ballet to dance is Serenade, which George Balanchine choreographed in 1934 in this country, and U of A does it sometimes. It's a neoclassical ballet with just to the music of Tchaikovsky, no story. So that's probably my favorite, although I did enjoy dancing a ballet by John Taras where there was a special part created for me, and that was called Dolly Suite to the music of Fauré.
Like that one.
I liked them all, actually.
When you're not dancing, what do you enjoy doing? What's your favorite thing to do?
Well, lately I've been spending a lot of time doing photography. I have a really great Canon camera that is digital, and I've figured out how to work it, so I'm getting the kind of pictures that I imagined I could get 30 years ago and I couldn't. And also I love cooking. I'm a big fan of Top Chef, and I'm getting braver with my cooking. So.
Cool. That's kind of fun to do. Now, you went to college after your professional dance career.
I did, long after.
Oh, so you didn't just stop and then go to college? You did that like somewhere in your life?
Yeah, I did it as an adult.
Okay.
I did it as a mom. And in my day in dance, we were not encouraged to go to college.
Well, right.
That has changed dramatically now, but in fact, we were discouraged to go to college. So it wasn't until I was I was 39, I think, when I started college.
Because I was going to, well, I know how it was. I mean, if you were starting to do ballet at 12 professionally, and you were, you couldn't just go to night classes. I mean, that's when you're performing, and you couldn't go to day classes because that's when you're practicing and learning. So there was no time.
Well, the funny thing is that I actually was the top ranked student in my high school class of 456. And I have found in my teaching and back then in my career that usually high achievers in one area do very well. And most of the serious dance students in my school are actually very serious students, and a lot of them get into university high. And so I think that dancers find a way to do both. It's just that back then we weren't encouraged to.
Right.
Now you can be a professional dancer, and like with the City Ballet, I believe that you can take a course every semester at Fordham or something. There's an affiliation.
Oh, okay. So when did you open your first ballet studio?
Oh gosh, it was 1983 in Lynn, Massachusetts. And I was in a great location. There were trains coming there, buses. I thought it would be a good place where people could come.
Why did you choose to do that?
I had lived in Manhattan for 9 years during the 70s, and then when I returned to Massachusetts, I went to see a friend that I had danced with at the Boston Ballet, Paula Schiff. She has a dance studio in Marblehead, Mass, and she asked me to teach, which I had wanted to do for a long time, and I liked it so much I thought I'd open my own place. So I was nice, and I moved 2 towns over from her.
Well, that was good. That was a good thing.